Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Reacts. Today we're checking out a new one from Connie X about fixing the NON-02 the Code's Digimon evolutions. Let's just hop in and see what Con has to say.
It's no secret that Digimon Adventure 02's Armor Digivolution is probably my favourite type of Digivolution. And it's also no secret that I'm not super fond of a lot of the Armor Digivolutions for the Digimon from 02 and beyond that we didn't see in 02, but were cemented by things like card games, V-Pets, etc. But what use is moaning and whining when I could be proactive by making changes to those Armor Digivolutions that I personally do not like. So on today's video I have teamed up with a new phenomenal artist, Fuzzy Comics, to fix the Digi-Egg of Courage Armor Evolutions.
To the salon!
Let's go!
Hey, there's no sponsor on today's video, so if you want to support more videos like this, you could check out carnex.store and maybe get yourself a t-shirt, hoodie, or phone. And of course, what's up, digital companions? My name is CarneX. Welcome back to another video, and if it's not welcome back, make sure it is next time. And yesterday we are fixing the Courage Armor Digivolutions from the kind of extended 02 canon. Also, pretty sure this video is coming out after Digimon Survive, but Bandai Namco sent me Digimon Survive swag. I'm very happy. It's going to be here for ages now. Sorry. And yes, we are starting with Courage, but absolutely plan to make this a new series and we'll be fixing every single one of the Armor Digi-Eggs in turn. And before we get started, I do want to make it very clear that while we are fixing the art in this video, there is nothing artistically wrong with the original designs, and the original artist did amazing work with this, and we of course think that basically all Digimon are pretty great, but I just wanted to give our own tweaks and fixes that we think would bring these Digimon to the next level. As far as myself and Fuzzy are concerned, the show Digimon Adventure 02 set up some pretty clear visual rules for what Armor Digivolution should be. First of all, the rookie should still be visible under the armor. The body of that rookie can grow, elongate, or change, maybe even starting to resemble their champion form, but ultimately you can still see Vmon under Flamedramon's armor and Gatomon under Nefertimon's. And the second point is that the Digimental should be clearly displayed. A lot of non-show armors tend to just focus on the element, aka Flame and Dragons for courage, Grass and Japanese tradition for sincerity, or just ignore it completely. Or even like make up new themes to tie into the egg. Aquatic holiness for light, I guess. So we want to really fix those forms where you can't see the Digi-Egg or Digimental, because they kind of feel like a direct contradiction of 02 and its toy line. But as such, there are some Courage armors that don't need fixing at all. With Flamedramon being a perfect example, as I said before, but there's also Flame Wizardmon, which is a bit of a weird outlier. Fuzzy and I ultimately decided that as it isn't a main armor for anyone besides Wizardmon itself, it does pretty okay with the Digimental and its purpose. I know some people are going to be like, that's not good enough. Well, maybe we'll throw him in as a bonus on the next one, I don't know. But then there is of course the beautiful Shadramon, being one of those rare armors we never saw in the show, but is still absolutely pretty much perfect. I mean, if I wanted to nitpick, I would say that Shadramon's body is probably more like Stingmon than Wormmon, so maybe it could be a lighter green. And maybe it could have the Crest of Courage on its chest piece, which Fuzzy obliged me with here, which now makes it perfect in my eyes. But what's less perfect is Allomon, which is Hawkmon with the Digi-Egg of Courage. Now, Allomon has definitely grown on me in time. I like that it has a similar feathery headdress as Hawkmon, and of course has a really genius idea at its core. Taking the dinosaur elements of the Digimental that come from Agumon, Greymon, etc., and tying it into the idea that dinosaurs are the ancestors of birds, like Hawkmon. But of course it needs more Digimental of Courage in my opinion, and to keep that Hawkmon body, so it becomes this. Allomon 2.0. Still thoroughly giving the same vibes as Allomon, but now much more tied to the Digi-Egg of Courage, especially with the old necklace of Allomon expanding out into the chest piece, and being much more clearly Hawkmon's body under there, which acts as a bit of a double whammy because it also lets us acknowledge the fact that there is now a lot more dinosaurs that were generally agreed to be more feathered and less lizard looking. A real slam dunk here, I think. The only real thing of note here is that Allosaurus predictably was probably one of those dinosaurs that wasn't feathered or had very few feathers, so maybe along with this fix we could change its name to something like Pteryxmon, which comes from the Archaeopteryx, which is a genus of bird-like dinosaurs. Then moving over to Boarmon, Armadillomon's Courage armor, it definitely has potential and is overall a fun design, but its body does not resemble Armadillomon at all, besides being quadrupedal, and while the fire main is fun, where the armor at? During our discussions on how to improve these armor forms, I remarked and Fuzzy agreed how kind of hilarious it is that the hard-shelled, basically armored Armadillomon digivolves and somehow has less armor, basically 0 armor, actually. So Fuzzy fixed that, giving the boar a really nice redesign. Now Armadillomon's body and tough shell are in full effect, but also covered in the Digi-Egg of Courage, with fire erupting from the back and still from the tail, but more pronounced. What were previously tusks more evocative of Tuskmon are now straight up the blade or the horn of the Digi-Egg of Courage, and while the headpiece is now more styled after the coloration of Armadillomon, it retains a black snout to evoke both the idea of pigs snuffling in the mud, but also the ashy nose one might get when surrounded by fire and ash. Also note, of course, the crest of courage on its back here. Then is Lynxmon, Gatomon with the Digi-Egg of Courage. And honestly, I really like what Lynxmon was going for. You can definitely see how that's supposed to be Gatomon under there, basically.
Kind of.
And the fire engulfing its body is at very least on brand for Courage, but of course we can do better. So here's the upgraded Lynxmon, now fully covered in that Courage armor and with the crest on full display on a kind of armored tail ring, which is really fun. Gatomon's yellow paws are also combined with the Courage armor, and her claws become the blade of the Digi-Egg like Bormon did with its tusk. But we still get to keep a ton of that fire erupting from basically every gap in the armor, so it still thoroughly feels like Lynxmon. This is another changed armor form that works totally fine with its existing name Lynxmon, but again, if we wanted to change things up more, I also like the name Kashamon, coming from the Kasha, a Bakeneko in Japanese mythology. Bakeneko literally means changed cat, which seems very appropriate for a Gatomon armor form. And the Kasha itself is, quote, wreathed in fire, these cats steal sinners' corpses from graveyards and brings them to hell. Although sometimes they just keep the bodies to eat themselves or to reanimate them as corpse puppets. Which I will admit is pretty gnarly, but also pretty cool. Now I know you're going to be wanting Patamon next, but I want to very quickly pivot to another Courage armor Digivolution, which is very similar to Lynxmon in concept, and that is Salamandermon, which has been used as a Chumon armor and also a Tentamon one, but we're gonna focus on it as a Chumon Courage armor. And like I say, Salamandermon is basically just a lizard version of the exact same concept of Lynxmon. So Fuzzy and I agreed that Salamandermon needed a total page 1 rewrite, which...
Hold on, go and say this for now. Salamon kind of reminds me of that wheeled fire gecko from Frozen 2. That was the element of fire. Y'all know. Well, if you've seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Led to the creation of Kiryu Flamedramon. Coming from the word Kiryu, meaning to wear, Chumon really channels his inner Betsumon and
folks. Sorry about that. Had to take care of someone with life. Moving back.
Mimikyu, and wears a big puppet Digimon version of Flamedramon. Fuzzy used the plump proportions of a Gila monster as its base, which is why its belly and tail look the way they do. This form still remains technically everything we want from better armor Digivolutions, but also does something totally fun and unique. It also massively evokes X-Tyrannomon, which is a common part of the puppet Digivolution family branching from Chumon, which makes a lot of sense as Flamedramon itself is so tied into the Agumon family, which is closely related to the Tyrannomon family of Digimon. I just cannot get over how funny and clever this design is. It is perfection. And then finally it's time to fix Barrowmon, my absolute least favorite Courage armor Digimon, which normally digivolves from Patamon. God damn, what a waste. And it's an extra shame because Barrowmon's basis is actually pretty cool. It's based on the Barong, a Balinese mythological creature that is often celebrated in a similar way to Shisa and Chinese lion dancers. But Barrowmon himself just looks like some generic enemy from RPG Maker 2000, so Fuzzy transformed Barrowmon into this, preserving the important Barong inspiration and facial structure of the original Barrowmon, but tying it in so much more closely to the Digi-Egg of Courage. Again, that Patamon body is fully on show here, but more muscular and stocky to really match the vibe. The crest and armor also much more fitting to Courage armor Digivolution than Barrowmon's green tunic, though I suppose the red cape works, kinda. In Barrowmon's reference book, it is described as a hermit that is also a guardian deity that protects the ruins database of a temple in a forgotten jungle, which I think this new Barrowmon could absolutely also do in the tradition of various lion creatures in many cultures. Again, like the previously mentioned Shisa and Chinese lions, but also the very common lion statues of my next door neighbor country, England. We're of course aware that Shisamon and Katoramon already exist, but as this is mainly based on the Barong, it becomes almost like a part of the family or branching tree alongside those Digimon. Maybe we can even rename it something like Shisa Barramon to really cement that connection, but you know, I think Barramon works just fine as a name. So that's it, our fixes for the Digi-Egg of Courage Armor Digivolutions. Incredible shout out to the phenomenal artist Fuzzy Comics who made this video possible. Please go check out his links in the description down below. Always wonderful to work with new artists and stuff. And when the work comes out so amazing like this, it really does make my day. So go and follow Fuzzy, show him some love and support in return for making this video possible. Let me know in the comments down below which of these fixes is your favorite. I know some of you are probably not going to like these or prefer the originals, and that's okay. That's the beauty of opinion, you know? But I personally am super happy with these fixes. Also, huge shout out, of course, to my...
And with that, we're gonna end off today's video. So, I want you all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Down in the description will be a link to the original videos, so remember to support the original creator and all they do, and I'll see all of you folks next time. And this is Fox, signing out.